Stop, this is Jeff.
This is David. We're not starting from just a regular screen. We saw a menu.
Yes, that's because we, the last episode recorded it ended up being like 35, 40 minutes, so I cut it in half.
Ah!
Hey, she's alive again.
The foreign body enters the rift.
It's Veruska. This is a very interesting character.
Yeah, she's.
I feel like it's an important character. Let's read what is Veruska's thing. She has cryptic speaking syndrome.
Yes.
A lot of characters in games and movies have this, but that's okay.
Yeah.
The exposed trembling viscera of a ribbon red. Succulent organelles of life excised, masticated, and ultimately. Yes, Rusalka is dreamer, makes mind worlds. This will probably not come up again.
Nope.
We all make mind worlds, just not everybody admits to it. This is very true.
Yeah.
I do like this last sentence. Not cryptic at all. It's just, just a round bag.
It's in the back. And, nice meeting you. Super creepy.
Zap.
You won't jump in her head either.
No.
You can't, but...
Some, dead Sudrins.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of dead Sudrins.
Yeah. Also, pulsating heart background.
This is true. There is a note on the ground. Tis purple. Tis purple. Purple note is Sudran translation. So not the Sudran programming language, which is also kind of funny.
Wait, what?
It says I've made a thing to translate Sudran text, not the Sudran programming language, into English. Apparently Gertab. Shoutouts to Gertab.
Which one was Gertab?
For the assist. I don't remember.
Just one of the bosses we beat was Gertab.
I think it's one of the ones we've killed already.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it is.
But yes, there's a all caps code in that which we can use with this thing.
Yes.
Which is where we get the name of the episode.
Passcode tool.
Yes, manipulate reality with encoded strings.
Use menu.
You can use the menu to do this.
Are you gonna do a thing?
I will of course do a thing. That's the first thing I'm gonna do.
Of course. Fantastic.
So we got a password generator. Well, not a generator. That has the exact colors of the original Metroid, naturally.
Absolutely.
Of course.
So there's some Sudran.
So we have some Sudran in there. We have a note telling us what we need to do in order to translate it, so we shall do that. With some exciting typing action.
Yes. You're going pretty fast, though. Good on you.
So now with that activated, we can read this. Security notice. Intruder, of course, being Athos. Storm Talisman also being the breach attractor. And in general, it's just like, hey, bad stuff's going on. Everyone's probably going to die. Please stay in your homes. Cool.
Die with the ones you love.
Yes, pretty much.
Yes.
So we.
Yes.
This is like the first thing I put in.
I put this in before reveal Sudran.
Because it does exactly what you want it to do.
Yes.
So much like in the original Metroid, the Justin Bailey code will give you the suitless version, in this case, pantsless version of our hero.
He's wearing a onesie.
That's true.
He's wearing a bathing suit.
Okay.
He's not just pantless.
It's not just pantless. Okay.
Come on, what do you take him for? He has class.
Of course.
I also like that the swimsuit changes color.
Yes, it does. As you get different clothing items.
Yeah. Spoilers, there are other clothing items.
Shh, it's a secret. I don't really want to fight these guys.
Yeah.
You go through this particular hallway a whole lot.
Yeah.
A whole lot. Yep.
You already got that.
Yeah, I did.
But luckily, your kill verse to the point where you can just kill everything.
Yes.
It's the slowest moving projectiles.
Cannot drill those.
That'd be funny.
You can finally get out of this particular area, though.
Yay!
Tunk, tunk, tunk,
Tunk,
tunk,
tunk,
tunk.
tunk. Yeah, it's nice being able to take shortcuts.
Mm-hmm. And to blast through walls with the killer.
Your lightning shotgun.
We saw this much earlier, but we will finally be able to go up here.
Right, because you've got,
With high jump boots, actually.
That's what it was. I was like, what did you not have?
I was like, wait, what did I not have? No, it was high jump boots. That was the thing.
Okay. You're already back to 2 out of 5.
Zap.
Oh, that's what it looks like in a bigger area, since we haven't been in one in a while. Alright, are you gonna jump?
I get the second half of this. There's
yes,
that. All
good.
right.
Fantastic. Dance.
Back to the steam area.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few more things we can pick up here now that we have all of the tools necessary.
Quick question.
No, we'll get to that.
Okay, I want you to bleep it out. That's why I just said it real quick and short.
I found 2 of them in my practice file, and I have found 0 of them in the one I'm using for recording.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Are they in random places?
Yes.
Oh, screw that.
We'll go over this later. Anywho.
I'm glad I gave up on that. Alright, cool.
Say the last of the items we hey, look, there's a guy in there.
Yeah.
How did I know? It's weird.
I feel like there's probably going to be one in the same kind of part right there. Oh, you're not going to find out.
No, it's fine. Hey, it's a thing. It's a weird power-up. A weird power-up.
Looks like a syringe.
It looks like a syringe.
Let's have fun with drugs.
Bioflux Accelerator causes mutation. That's probably not good. That's ominous, as he says. Small blood machines, like in your mind. Please take them. And he's like, you want me to inject myself? I'm not going to be doing that. That's ridiculous.
That's super dumb.
Too late. Already did it.
Your body will produce now. That seems like a weird comma.
Injection over wireless, which is more terrifying. I love that line.
That is
Injection over wireless.
Yep.
Incorrect. It is not useful.
It's absolutely unuseful.
It's sort of padding. So,
yeah,
it's interesting. It's an interesting little dialogue exchange there because you know you're basically kind of being turned into a monster.
Yeah, you're losing a little bit of your humanity, and you didn't have a choice. Hey, you got all the things.
Yep. The map has the
2 dots.
The 2 dots. One for 100% map, one for 100% items in this particular area, which means we do not have to come back here.
I feel like maybe you should delete that that top file with all the spoilery things on it.
No.
Okay, you're right. Spoilers, you get a different color coat.
Shh.
It doesn't do anything. It's
yep,
just
that's
a new
right.
color.
It's just cosmetic change. Yeah.
They realized how important
we're going to go
cosmetics
back. We're going back to Indy to ride the giant head.
That I didn't know about, because I'm a doof.
You are a doof, yes. Better make sure we go the right direction. There we go.
So the direction you're facing determines where it goes?
Yes. If you are facing the other way, it'll turn around and then go that way.
Man, this would have made going through this area so much faster.
It is quite convenient. So this is not quite the end that we need to get to yet. I'm going to go check. There's a... Well, no. There's water in the game. There's like... You have an entire, like, oxygen meter and everything.
It's weird, because that never comes up.
Yeah, it really actually doesn't.
It's not
the cheeky kind of, oh, I guess we won't see that again. But no, actually we won't. Like, it doesn't matter.
Like, the only other place, like, other than... What?
Nothing down here. No, nothing. No, don't worry about it.
You accidentally hit the button, didn't you?
No, I did it on purpose. There's just nothing down there.
Oh, okay.
All right, we made it to the West End.
Mm-hmm.
Which means we'll be going back into
the first area of the game.
Ereboo.
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 So that guy, well, if we let him go, he would have walked into the wall very briefly, which you know, indicates that there's a thing we can do.
Yeah. It's a thing I didn't find until way later.
Another journal page. Breach pockets appearing here and there. Salki won't go in, interferes with electronics. Yes, that is a thing that I was looking for. That I did not find. We've been mentioning. I have not found any breach pockets yet.
It'll happen.
Yeah,
It'll happen.
Well, there's much to say about breach pockets as soon as we get to one, but until then.
At least you can tell where they are, kind of. It's not like just like
Yeah, there's clues. I've been looking for them. Zap. Everything's so weak.
Yeah. Like, why are you even bothering killing these things?
It's a video game. You kind of have to shoot the things.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
All right, this is where one of our reminders was said.
Yes.
So these guys, much like the ones in the Bionic Commando area, they do something similar. It's just, you know, they make the goobly bits instead of the stone.
And the goobly bits come back. Well, whereas the stone does not.
I don't think. Oh, yeah, they do.
No, they come back. Hey.
All right.
Hey.
You win this one.
I win all.
Okay, sure. If you say so. I don't think that's true, but okay.
You're right.
Varange was not real great on that angle, but
no.
I'll keep using it until I find another thing.
Yep. I fought a boss with Varange, yep.
There is nothing else here.
No, absolutely not. Nope.
So, clear the reminder. Just, you don't have to do that, but I'm going to do that anyways. So we got a passcode tool, we got the reveal Sujin translation, and if we go over here, we can find an interesting piece of information in the background as I'm shooting up at.
Yeah,
it's
in the background.
2 lines of 6 characters, so 12 characters, that is written in Sudrin, which is not translated because it only translates the journal pages you have. So if we look at the security notice, you'll just have to make this deduction, which shouldn't be too hard, that it's just a character swap for for English. So using this, you know where the positioning of the letters are, and you can get an idea about what that actually translates into.
Where is my copy of the... There it is.
You can further deduce that because it is 2 rows of 6 letters, that it is a password that you can input, because that's where we've seen important things that are 6 at a time.
And it ends up being, what is it, Dalku something?
Well, I'll get there eventually. I don't remember, but
I think this one's Dalku Subtomb.
Okay, that might be it. That is definitely one of them. Not that there's others, of course, but
of course not. They only use gimmicks once in games like this. Yep, it's Dalku Subtomb.
Indeed.
It's almost like I have all of these written down because I puzzled out the languages myself because I like doing that.
Hey, look at that. It changed the map, which is neat.
I like the world-altering effects.
Yes, the world-altering effects are the best. I mean, we have done that with the Axiom Disruptor, not the Disruptor, but
the glitch tool.
Yeah, the glitch gun. I'll remember the name eventually.
I mean, it's probably one of these other things. Oh, that I deleted. Nope, so I don't know.
Hey, but we got a new weapon from going in here.
Woo!
Orbital Discharge, which runs along ground.
Oh, it's Snake Man. Got it.
Yep.
I didn't use this thing much. I feel like that was maybe a poor choice.
I didn't use it much because I didn't get it until, I was already done with the game.
Yeah, that was also accurate. You had to tell me to come up here.
Yeah, for this particular, For this particular playthrough, I'm definitely using all of the weapons a lot more than I did in the first playthrough. There was some, of course, that I liked, but, you know...
Kilver.
It was mostly just the Disruptor and the Kilver, because they're real good, and you have to get them, and you get them super early.
Yes, and they only get better as the game goes on, because you get upgrades.
This is true.
Like, let's make the lightning shotgun bigger. Let's make it more powerful. Let's make it bigger, and then more powerful. Keep doing that.
Cannot get through those googly bits yet.
Nope, not yet. I came all the way over here the first time I was playing that just to do that.
And you're like, denied.
I was so pissed. I'm not yawning because this is boring. I'm yawning because I have poor sleep habits.
Okay, sure. Hey, a new area.
Hey, it's a really good area.
What is this one called? I don't remember.
I want to... You know what? Nope, not even going to try.
Nope, not going to try. So we're stuck in here now because, as you'll notice, we phased through the wall and then fell down. Because we don't actually have the ability to go through walls that are, let's say, in the air.
Yes.
We also don't have enough jump height to get up there. Fortunately, we can glitch this guy, which turns
Makes
into a slightly better platform here.
Glitching him slows him down. What makes it go the other way, I wonder?
I don't know, maybe it's random.
Yeah, those guys
If
you just
it's-
have to hit from below.
Yeah, it might be random depending on which direction you're facing. And if you're sort of ambiguous, maybe it just picks one.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought about that too. And when that blew up and it was nothing, I was like, oh god.
Like,
I'm
maybe
out
it's
of a
gone
power-up.
forever.
Oh no.
There we go, another thing we can't get back to.
Yep.
Hey, there's another trace. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
We did see another trace briefly earlier.
Yeah, but this one,
Very
Trace
briefly.
noticed.
This is a much more obvious one. Yeah,
I
someone that looks just like you ran away.
I really liked Elsa Nova's response. Sorry, no. What did you
Sorry,
see?
no, what? Huh? What? What?
Yeah.
What a swing on the ceiling.
You missed.
Well, we are in a new area. We're following after a clone or a copy or, you know, all the other different sci-fi variations of what that could be. And it's the end of the video, so we're gonna get on our leotard and we're gonna dance.
We're gonna have a bikini dance party. Or not bikini, I guess. Bikini has to be two separate pieces.
Okay. I mean, it could be two pieces. I don't know. Maybe there's like a...
This
The
is
Axiom
a,
Disruptor is like, you know, it blocks a lot, so like you have to imagine what's out there.
well, I'm not gonna imagine. All right, I don't know what sick stuff you're into, but I don't imagine. All right.
You have no imagination.
Yeah. that sounds about
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Axiom Verge.
Axiom Verge. Me having no imagination. That's a great happy note to end the video on. Oh, wow. David must live this, like, boring, gray, lifeless,
Just
like, existence.
yes.
So,
Yep,
yeah,
this
that's...
This gray, just sort of even, like no highs, no lows, just like flat line.
Well, it's more just all lows. It's just one long valley.
Okay, it's it's basically just it's like Death Valley. It's super flat and it's just kind of
Salty.
it's salty, very salty. Hot?
Yeah,
maybe not.
and people are always trying to break land speed records on me.
Yeah, they're constantly trying to do that.
Meow.
It sounded like a new Range Rover.
Good good ear.
If you want to hear us pause awkwardly while I wait to see what kind of bizarre joke that David will maybe tell, you can give us money through Patreon.
What do you call a slime with 3 eyes?
What do you call a slime with 3 eyes?
A slime.
Okay. Okay, yes. Yep, no, I get it. That's good. All right, it's good enough.
I've been reading and watching and playing a bunch of Dragon Quest stuff.
What kind of computer was Rolling in the Deep recorded on?
What?
Adele.
It's pretty good. I got a long one. You want to hear it?
Sure.
All right.
What else? What else could we possibly do with our time?
I don't know. What are the people who are watching this? Let's see if they stick around. Mm-hmm. So there's a lady. She's a young woman in her 20s. Her name's Lydia. She meets a guy. They end up hitting it off. They get married. Turns out he has a lot of money. And they're married for a good 10, 15 years. And he passes away suddenly and leaves her all of his money. So she grieves for a little while. She eventually starts dating again. Ends up dating a stage magician who also was just big into acting and other stuff. Ended up going to a bunch of his performances and eventually got involved in them as well. Had a pretty decent, amateur acting career with him. And he eventually died in a car crash. It was sad, but some years later, she married a third time. And she married a pastor. She wasn't very religious before this, but while they were dating, she converted and she became a Christian, and they had a real happy marriage for a long time. And then he passed away, and she did marry one final time, and she married a mortician. And they weren't married for too long because she was old by this time. And she passed away. And when the pastor got up to give the homily at the funeral, he said, well, she married 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, and 4 to go.
Yeah, that's a really long setup. You weren't lying about that part.
Nope.
That dog was not so shaggy.
Oh, that's one of my favorite dumb jokes. I love that joke.
It is certainly a dumb joke.
It's one of the few jokes I learned in high school that's appropriate to share in front of other people.
I was trying to see which, because I was like, well, with this setup, obviously it's going to be a pun on some sort of long idiom.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, all right, her name was Lydia, so I was like, maybe it's a dumb music joke, something with Lydian mode.
No, that's misdirection, man.
Right, misdirection. Was that the last name of the magician? Direction?
Ha 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 ha! No, the mortician.
Okay. Then I thought it was going to be something with like the magician. Maybe like cutting, maybe it's like knives, maybe like sharp. I was like, it could still be a music thing. It still could be.
No.
Thus concludes our episode of our YouTube channel.
Where we end with bad jokes for me sometimes, other times not.
Mm-hmm. So good night and good luck.
Also, Patreon. Have we talked about that this time?
I think we did. Ever so briefly.
Did we?
I think we did. If we didn't, it's fine.
Oh, we did, because then I made the slime joke.
Yes,
and,
you did.
Yeah. What do you call a really old slime?
What do you call an old slime?
Flan paw.
Flan paw. Okay. I guess that's because of the slimes from Pop Fantasy.
Well, no, flan is just a pudding, but yeah.
Sure.
Gootrude instead of Gertrude.
Okay.
Mother Gluperior.
No, that one doesn't work as well.
Dragon Quest Rocket Slime Adventures, or Rocket Adventures or whatever. I think it might just be Dragon Quest Rocket Slime. Is a really, really punny game.
I see.
There's an enemy called the Fortnite, and his subtitle is "Not Too Weak."
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That one's good.
It's pretty great. Oh. I can't remember the one's name, but he's an Egyptian theme, and his subtitle is "He Doesn't Play Pharaoh."
Yep, that is probably, I would say, the best part of Dragon Quest. It's too late in the episode to start ranting.
I really like Dragon Quest. I know you don't, but I
have tried. I tried 8 and I tried 9. I probably put a good 10, 15 hours into each of those.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I gave it a fair chance. It just did not grab me.
Dragon Quest 4 is one of my favorite games, and Dragon Quest 5 is one of my favorite stories in an early RPG. Because it's based around, there's a legendary hero, but he's not your protagonist. He's in your party, but he's not your protagonist. And I won't go further into that because it's spoilers on what is actually really well done for a Super Nintendo game. That isn't, Chrono Trigger, because nothing's Chrono Trigger.
Not even Chrono Trigger. No, okay, Chrono Trigger is Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger is Chrono Trigger. Chrono Cross is not Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Cross is its own strange thing.
Chrono Cross is
its
dumb.
Own strange, wonderful, stupid, strange thing.
Yes. It is a special creature. We should probably stop recording because the video has been over for like 8 minutes.
Yeah, it's been over for a while, and I've like for the last minute, I've really been debating whether or not I just want to start. Because if you want to get into Final Fantasy versus Dragon Quest, like, I mean,
we can.
I will fight you.
Final Fantasy 1 versus Dragon Quest 1. Which one's better?
This is not even a question. Final Fantasy 1 by like a billion miles. Is not even a question. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why.
Okay.
Because Final Fantasy 1, even this is going to be spoilers for the plot of the very first Final Fantasy game, just putting it out there. At the very beginning, the very first Final Fantasy game, it established everything. Well, it's also kind of because of Final Fantasy. This is why I like these things as well. It's chicken and egg situation. But from the very first Final Fantasy game, the plot is about time travel. It was not a go save the princess story. The very first quest is that. But then then you go around the world. There's like a floating castle. There's, like awesome dungeons and stuff, and everything was just kind of ripped off wholesale from D&D. Mm-hmm. This is another conversation I could have about how literally all RPGs are based on Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
The Western RPGs, Japanese RPGs, roguelikes, everything is based off of Dungeons and Dragons. And I don't mean like it was inspired by or that things were, I mean like it was
literally
was Dungeons and Dragons that determined the entire future of RPG genre, which at this point has become fusion genres of so many different games that like the way that stats and random numbers are rolled and generated is pretty much just 100% D&D. There's other interpretations, of course, but anyways, the very first Final Fantasy game, the story is the first boss. You kill the first boss, he's super weak, and it turns out, he was a super powerful being that was 1,000 years in the past, sent all of the fiends into the future. It is very like last episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation style, where they keep him in a stable time loop, so he's constantly getting powers of all the elements being funneled back into him, and then you go backwards 1,000 years in time, so that the very first dungeon of the game, which is dilapidated, is like in its prime, and it's just full of all these ridiculously hard monsters, and then you fight primordial chaos at the end of the, and that was the first Final Fantasy game. That was Final Fantasy 1.
All right.
They didn't lead up to that. That's where they started.
So, to be fair, Dragon Quest 1 came out a lot earlier than Final Fantasy. Like an entire year. So maybe like an entire 18 months sooner. So yeah, there were a little bit like Dragon Quest was kind of trailblazing what it was doing. Dragon Quest 2 versus Final Fantasy 2.
I have no idea. I can't answer this one because Final Fantasy 2 is not great.
No, Final Fantasy 2 is pretty bad.
It established one thing that is very important for the future Final Fantasy games, which was
Sid.
Well, no, I mean more in a more generic way. I don't mean that the actual character names and stuff. I think Chocobos in 2. That might have been 3.
Yep,
the first.
Chocobos are the first appearance of 2. There's one forest where you can get them.
So there's also that, but I mean more of the design decisions behind Final Fantasy games. At 2, they decided that 1, no characters from the first game, so an entirely new world. That's actually very useful for having a series that has 15 to 20 entries in it.
Yep.
And 2, they completely threw out all of the battle system from the first one. They just threw out all of it. And there's like, we want to do a new thing.
Yep.
This is very important for Final Fantasy because it meant that each version of Final Fantasy has pretty much a unique battle system, a unique skill system, a unique, way to build characters. So they completely threw out everything that was basically just Dragon Quest / D&D. Well, not everything, so stats and stuff.
I mean, you still fight, you still magic, you still. Yeah.
The experience was based on use, so it's really kind of like what.
Sort of, yeah. Some of it was, some of it wasn't.
So it's a system that was actually used in Elder Scrolls,
but significantly less broken in Elder Scrolls.
I don't know about that.
Because Final Fantasy 1 and 2 were buggy as hell when they came out on the NES.
Sure, there are literally spells in Final Fantasy 1 that actually just don't do anything because the stats don't work. Or
swords that are supposed to have elemental affinities that don't.
They just don't.
Yeah. Or, let's see, Final Fantasy 2 has that as well, where it's like the barrier spell says, all right, you gained ice immunity. No, you gained mind immunity, or whatever the first one is, and the thing's just lying to you. Or the fact that Toad is the best spell in the game, because you can kill literally every boss in the game with it, and if they're immune to it, you cast barrier on them, and it makes them not immune to it anymore, because you fail so hard it works.
That is too hilarious.
So, yeah. Dragon Quest II. While it still had the menu system of hit A, then hit talk, which I never liked, but whatever, it was still, I think, a better game than Final Fantasy II, because it didn't try to change as much.
This set the precedent for the rest of the Dragon Quest games.
Hey.
If you play Dragon Quest 9, it'll be very familiar because all of the systems and all of the enemies are the same as they were in the first 2.
Not all.
It's still first-person battles.
Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with first-person battles.
And it's still grindy. It's still random encounters.
So
Final Fantasy had random encounters for a long time as well, but they eventually changed that too.
Yeah, and Final Fantasy 1 was pretty grindy. Final Fantasy 2, if you knew exactly what you were doing, it was fine. You could kind of make your way through it without really grinding ever. But Dragon Quest 2, now granted, I've only beaten Dragon Quest 2 twice, and that was 12 years ago. It's been a bit, but it was still like it was literally a sequel to Dragon Quest 1, where it's on a different part of the world, and you go visit some of the old places, but they're not really involved in the story. It is new characters, it's just descendants and whatnot. But it's a good game. Like there's a print that like one of your characters is a dog for a while before you uncurse her, and then she's a lady.